Morning everybody, Steve Carlson at Clemons Boats in Sandusky, Ohio. Standing here on the back of a beautiful 2020 41 Express Albemarle Custom Carolina edition. And actually this one, as you'll see, is quite customized to be more the Great Lakes edition. One of the first things you'll notice here is this boat does incorporate Albemarle's new design, which was part of the Custom Carolina package, the mezzanine seating. Traditionally, this boat's had some big tackle centers here. What we've found and what our customers have told us, this mezzanine seating really has kind of totally changed the feel of this boat. It's obviously always been a great fishing boat, but having this seating area here makes it a boat that really works for the whole family. But truly, it even makes it a little bit better from a fishing standpoint, because whether you're trolling for salmon or walleye in the Great Lakes, or if you have it out on the East Coast and you're out there trolling for real big fish, it's a great spot to sit. Keeps your crew back out of the way of the captain. And as you'll see here in a few minutes, we still have all of the tackle storage that the tackle centers were incorporating in them, but just added a lot of comfort to the boat. It's a big boat. It's a 15.9 beam, 41, and it's actually about 43 length overall, without a swim platform. Now, of note, for some of the people in the Great Lakes or other areas that might want a swim platform, we can certainly have a platform built. Albemarle offers one, so that is something that's available. But this boat, as you'll see, was pretty customized to an owner that knew exactly what he wanted. Jason, why don't you walk down? I want to show a few things down below first before we go into the boat in detail. I'll pull this ladder back. So the boat's going to get detailed up, but we moved it over here from Holland, Michigan at the end of the year. Again, no swim platform. One of the things the owner wanted was some extra rod holders on the back, and you'll notice that these rod holders look exactly like the ones up on the hardtop. They were made by Ashley Welding as part of the build process. There is a aluminum plate in the transom laminate for this, and then another one over here. You can see the underwater lights, and that's pretty typical, but where things get a little interesting, something we did special on this. First owner of this boat did a lot of salmon fishing, trolling with downriggers at night. They go out at 4:35 in the morning and start fishing at night. He said, hey, could we put a second set of underwater lights on the side? And what that was for is when he was downrigging at night, just to be able to see things as you're hooking up your downriggers or netting fish on the side. So, you know, something that seems like a small thing, but that's something that the team down in Edenton, North Carolina at Albemarle do regularly for their customers, is let's figure out a way to make the boat work best for our customer. I guess let's walk forward here a little bit here. As you see, people always talk about what's Carolina flair. Well, here it is. This does a great job of knocking down any spray as you're running. This is a nice dry running boat. And just come on up front here and maybe get down from this angle and just kind of look back at the boat. You'll see that it's a nice, deep, heavy boat. Maintains its beam forward quite a bit, so even with that flare, you'll see as we get inside the boat that we have a lot of volume, a lot of storage space in the cabin area out in this area. So let's walk up and come on aboard, and I'll show you some of the cool things that we've incorporated into this boat. And this is the 41 Express Albemarle Custom Carolina edition. It's a 2020 model year. The boat has about 125 hours on the engines. which are twin 715 horse QSM 11 Clemons power. Performance of the boat is fantastic. Great Lakes load, you're going to top out at 40 miles an hour. You can cruise at 35 miles an hour all day long. Great performance both on the top end at cruise, and then once we get up to the helm area, I'll talk to you a little bit about the trolling valves and how this boat is set up for Great Lakes fishing. But you know, like a lot of the Albemarles and Carolinas over the years, what this is known for is being a serious sport fish boat. So with this cockpit here, at 15.9 wide a beam and about 10 foot front to back, you've got lots of room for your family, a tournament crew, charters, whatever you want to do. I mean, there's plenty of room for 6 to 8 people to fish very comfortably in this boat. I'll show you a few things here. We do have, I think there's some stuff, some gear stored in here right now, but transom live wells are plumbed. This was a small change the owner made. He wanted the friction hinges back here opening front to back as opposed to opening up on the sides. That's something that we did, and Albemarle has incorporated now as the standard way of doing things. Big fish box that also has some gear, a bunch of gear in it right now, but you can certainly fill that and that with all the salmon and walleye you can catch, or if you take it to the coast, fill her up with some mahi or some tuna. Here's something custom. So this Garmin unit, this is a 12-inch Garmin unit back on the transom area. The owner wanted the ability to look at his screens, especially when he's downrigger fishing back there. So at the Albemarle plant, we talked about several ways to do this, and I believe it was Carol down at the plant said, well, how about we just build a custom fiberglass box for it? There isn't really somebody else that's going to do that. And that really is something that Albemarle excels at, making the boat work for the customer. You know, every boat tends to get some customization, especially as you get bigger, obviously. You know, the saying down there is every one of these they build is the best one yet. They've been doing it a long time. They've built, this is hull number 64 of the 41. We are up to 67 right now, and we do have 3 of these running around the Great Lakes. So, you know, typically the Great Lakes guys put just the hard top on the boat. If somebody wants a tower, we can certainly do that. Tower could be added to this boat if somebody wants to move this boat to the coast. So, you know, this 2020 is available. The owner is actually building another boat right now. He likes the custom build process, and we like that too. So anyways, a couple other things you see from a fishing standpoint. You see these mounts here. These are Great Lakes guys will recognize these as Cisco fishing systems, but this boat has quite a bit of camber or roll to it. So the owner said, well, I don't want my rod holders or my downriggers leaning out when I'm sitting at the dock. So we had our friends at Cisco Fishing Systems machine this to the angle that it needed to be to sit solid. You know, wide open cockpit. It's got the Glendenning hose reel for the 50 amp service. We've got the same thing over here on a hose for water. Again, the mezzanine seating, fantastic for your crew. I mentioned we kept the storage in here, so this owner, and he's got some of his gear, he just wanted a big drawer here. We've got here, this is a cooler. He's got some gear packed away in there. And then this side, another cooler live well combo. More drawers here. And again, these storage spaces can be customized. This is something that's pretty slick. So I left the gear in here on purpose just so you can see how much space is actually here. But if you look in there, you can see that
that's a ton of gear.
there's a ton of gear in there.
One thing you can never have too much of on a boat is storage space.
That's right. So, and functional storage space that isn't in your way. That's a big thing too. So as we come forward here, I'll hit a little bit more on the storage that's easily accessible. Okay.
Steve, you know, as we go over this boat, I think this should become my new demo.
That's a great idea.
Maybe we shouldn't sell this thing.
Well, let's talk later. So up into the helm area now. Center helm. It's a big boat. It weighs 35,000 pounds. As I said earlier, it runs well. But when you're at the helm here, in the center helm, it's a sporty feeling boat to run. We've got the Palm Beach controls here, so you're right in the center of gravity of the boat. You know, it just feels good. It's sporty. You know, you got, with the little bow rise, you've got a great visibility. You're looking right through glass when you're running this boat, and it has some bow rise, but it's not excessive at all. Some boats with too much bow rise, especially this size, make it hard to see. I'm about 6'1", but I mean, somebody 5'6", 5'8", great visibility. You can still see on plane. You can see the corners. If you come up here, Jason, and maybe turn around, one of the great things about a center helm, either from a fishing standpoint, but a docking standpoint, you can see the corners easily. And then you'll notice up in here, the upholstery here. This was a custom upholstery choice, this gray. Some of the boats that you see online have the tan. The owners selected this and really think it looks nice. These are Stid helm chairs. I think it's a Stid Admiral chair. At this level, basically an owner picks what they want and we make it happen. The seat rests there. Well, let's take a look at the helm area here. First thing, what we've got here, we've got 3 16-inch Garmin units at the helm, and those were installed by the team at Edenton in the factory. We've got Garmin's autopilot. This is a video display. This here is the controller for this boat. Has Optimus electronic power steering down to the inboards. VHF controller for FLIR camera, so that's got the infrared night vision camera. And then Albemarle is of course partnered up with Wet Sounds for the best marine audio in the business. That's the head unit there. Couple of air conditioning vents, so heat and air. And if you come up forward, you'll see another little custom touch we did here. Remember, I mentioned that this owner did a lot of fishing on Lake Michigan, going out at 4:35 in the morning. These vents here work as defrosters, or keep the fog down when you're heading out in the dark. Heat and air. There is a dedicated heat and air unit on the helm deck. It's actually located there on the starboard side. So we can keep this area warm, we can keep this area cool, plenty of room for your crew to be comfortable. And then, oh, this is kind of a neat little thing here. So this is from Taco. It's a crank for raising and lowering the antenna. And then actually the stern light, the white all-around light, there's a powered Taco mount that does that. So kind of neat. You can see the lights, and there's plenty of colors on those. But I'll let you just pan around and look at, you know, how clean and smooth and, you know, this boat is. Again, everybody can see that it's a nice fishing boat, but rugged simplicity really is where it's at with Albemarle. Let's head down into the cabin area. So as you come down in here, you'll see nice and spacious. Cabin area is certainly an area where things can be customized. this table area here, really nice. You can see that we engraved the Albemarle logo in there. There's actually a bunk incorporated above. I'm not going to make the full thing up, but there's some straps that pull this up to a Pullman. These pop out here, and the owner's son has slept up there when they travel. This drops down to make a bunk there for 2 people. We've got this matting in here, but it's got the synthetic flooring that is great looking. Nice open, roomy area. The head compartment, plenty of room. You know what you'll see on an Albemarle is great use of space, and just well thought out, great storage. You've got your combo microwave and convection oven and grill here, a little bit of storage there. You've got the Vitrigo drawer system, freezer, refrigerator, little coffee maker left there. Cabinetry, that's something that is all made in-house by the team at Edenton, so fair amount of customization there. You've seen some of the videos where they've got a big TV mounted here, and this comes up. These owners wanted maximum cabinet space, didn't care so much about a TV, so that's what we did. We customized it this way. What's in the sink here? That's the FLIR camera that was removed for shipping. But let me open up the cabinet here for the power distribution system. So this is a 240 volt boat, 50 amp service, and then on the DC side it's a 24 volt system with some converters for some functions on the electronics and such. Something I didn't mention before is the boat has Seakeeper, so it does have the gyro system to stabilize things. I'll show you that in the engine compartment here in a second. I'll let you walk forward and look at the master stateroom here. I've got this compartment up just to show you, and there's a ton of storage in here. I believe the owner said at one point in time he had 24 Great Lakes trolling rods up in there. Again, some customization that can happen there. This particular boat has the doors. You can go with just the keyhole opening if you don't want the doors. So again, opportunity to customize.
The other thing I've noticed as we're walking around, Steve, is you don't hear a thing move on this boat when you're walking around.
That's right. Everything very rugged. I mean, very luxurious, but absolutely rugged built. They're building these boats, and yes, they're beautiful, but they're building these boats expecting that people are going out through Oregon Inlet, Hatteras, up here in the Great Lakes, and these boats are built to be run and fished. While they're still beautiful, you see that rugged simplicity. Let's walk out and look in the engine compartment, because that's pretty impressive. On back here. So we've got some Flexiteak there. I'm going to go ahead and raise this up.
Going to be where a lot of the magic happens here.
Go a little more, but I think we can see everything we need to here, so I'll let you just take that in for a minute. But this boat is powered with the twin QSM11 Clemons, 715 horsepower each. The boat, of course, has a generator, and then down right on the center line of the boat below the generator, you'll see that it has a Seakeeper system. The Seakeeper you know, any of the larger boats over the last 5 years, especially if you've gone to the Miami or the Fort Lauderdale Boat Show, almost everything is Seakeeper. And one of the great things is, especially here in the Great Lakes, Seakeeper, for the guys that are trolling for walleye or trolling for salmon, and our short chop, you know, you're trolling 1.5 to 3.5 miles an hour. So the Seakeeper works all the time for you. And if you have not, if you're not familiar with Seakeeper, go on Seakeeper.com's website. It's a gyro system that really takes the roll out of the boat. You'll just gently go up and down. You know, the saltwater guys that are trolling, you know, 15 knots for some of the species, at a certain point you got 35,000 pounds of boat moving, and that takes over. But at the slow speeds we're in, the Seakeeper is an absolute game changer. At the end of the day, two things: you're not as tired because you're not using muscles that you know, to stabilize yourself. But if you have somebody in your family that gets seasick, it's totally a game changer there. We found, you know, some older people that you know, just got tired. Seakeeper, it absolutely works. If you've not been on a boat, I guess is the way to say it. It just flat out works. But easy access, and we do have a day hatch here that you can get down in on the stairs. But you know, for a big boat and big power plant, we do have plenty of room. We have the fluid changing system, so you can change oil from the Clemons, you can change oil from the generator, you can change the coolant, you can cycle out transmission fluid from the system that's in there, and just a nice, clean, uncluttered engine room with room for some storage and tools and things like that. I do need to mention, I guess, the trolling valves. So this boat, big diesels, we have this boat tuned to where the trolling valves, we can maintain great control of this boat, 1.5 to 3.5 miles an hour, where people fish and troll in the Great Lakes. Depending on conditions, you can do it with one motor. Sometimes you might fire up both, but just know that even though this is a big boat, it works for the way we're going to fish here in the Great Lakes. As you look around here, rod holders and all this stuff, again, this was all set up the way the owner of this boat wanted it, and you know, there's certainly an opportunity for further customization if you have interest in the boat. It is here at our facility, so you know, you can look at clemonsboats.com. You can contact me, Steve Carlson, Steve C. at Clemons Boats, and let's set up a time to show you the boat.
All right, Steve, so while we're on this boat,
Yep.
we got a little bit of time left. If anybody's got any questions, obviously answer them below. We got about 7 minutes here on the video. Do you want to talk about just general Albemarle construction company history?
Yep, absolutely. And let me drop this down. Okay, so engine hatch down. Just kind of finish up here with a little bit about Albemarle and the history. You know, Albemarle and Carolina Classic, it's a great story. You can see a lot more of the details just by hitting their website. But started in the late 70s. Couple of partners, Mac Privet and then Scott Harrell. They started Albemarle, and out in Edenton, North Carolina. You know, they started off with the Classic 24. I actually still have one of those. I've got a 1991. I've owned 5 Carolina Classics and Albemarle going back over the years, and actually still have one of each right now. But anyways, in the early 90s, Mac left and started Carolina Classic brand, and they were competitors for a long time. After the market crash, 2008, 9, 10, things were a little slow. There was an investor that bought both brands, and then in 2015, the Murphy family came in and purchased everything and had a formal merger. So since 2015, Albemarle and Carolina Classic are back together as one company, and it's been really fantastic since then. The Murphy family has injected you know, the capital that was needed to grow the brand, continue to innovate, and their support has been phenomenal. But what is really great about that is the Murphy family really has let the boat builders still run the company. So Keith Privet, his brother Wade, out there in the plant, Birch Perry, grandson of Scott Harrell, you know, they're running the company on a day-to-day operations, but we've got the financial backing from the Murphy family to do what we need. There's a bunch of employees that have been there for 15, 20 years. A few of them have been there longer than that. You know, Carol Bundy and his team out in the factory. Just great people. The rock star of the whole place for our owners, Donna Evans. She's been there in service and parts and warranty, and she can tell you things that you know, help you out with things. I mean, most people that own these boats have an opportunity to talk to some of these people, and that's really where Albemarle is different than most of the competitors, and even you know, some of the brands that we sell. But you know, it's family run. It would be rare for a customer, whether you buy the 25 Express on up to the 41, or now, actually the most exciting thing going on, we have a partnership with Spencer Yachts, and we're actually doing a 53, which they're working on the mold right now. It would be rare for an owner to not have the cell phone number for a couple of the people I just mentioned, and that's normal. Our customers become friends, and when we see them at boat shows, it's not just the nod as they walk by. I mean, we talk about fishing trips, we talk about, you know, each other's families. Some of the best friends that I have up here in the Great Lakes actually started by pulling up next to somebody in the Carolina Classic or an Albemarle going back over 20 years. And that's not just a Great Lakes thing, that's a normal thing. So, you know, what I've always said is Albemarle, Carolina Classics, I mean, they're great boats, but they're built by even better people. I'm going to have the opportunity to go back down to Edenton this week. We're going to do a walkthrough and some further customization for an owner, and you know, you just don't find that at other builders, especially in the 25, 27, 31 foot size frame. You know, 40 and up, yeah, that happens. But, you know, the other thing, I mean, if I've got a question about something, I can make a phone call, and if I don't get an answer on the spot, I'm going to have an answer within a half hour. You know, and it's an answer not from a rep. It's an answer from the people that actually built the boat, and, you know, this is their whole lives. So it's just a different animal, and I invite you to come out, set up a time to see me here at Clemons Boats in Sandusky, Ohio. We can go through the whole product line from 25, 27, 31 on up to the 41, and hey, let's talk about the 53. That would be pretty cool too. So Steve Carlson at Clemons Boats, Great Lakes dealer for Albemarle, the Carolina Classic. Look forward to talking to you soon.